Hey there smartphone fans, ready for a big comparison? Here we go. Which is the best budget Mix phone? Doogee Mix 2 or Oukitel Mix 2? If you're interested in buying one of those devices, you better watch my video because I'll be doing a detailed comparison and test to determine which is the better device. And here we go. Right, let's start with Doogee Mix 2 specs. 6-inch Full HD plus 18:9 display, Helio P25 octa-core, 6GB of RAM, 64GB of expandable storage, Android 7 Nougat, facial recognition, 16 megapixel and dual front-facing camera with USB Type-C and Android 7 Nougat straight out of the box. And it's a very beautiful phone. I got the ocean blue version, which is the better one looking of the two. The phone is an all glass body phone, but the sides are made of metal and the glass on both sides is actually a bit thin and not that premium feel to it. On the right side you have all the buttons, volumes and power, and on the left side you have zilch. You have nothing, just a bit of waste of space. And on the top, instead of a 3.5 headphone jack, you get the dual nano SIM tray. And now it's time for the Oukitel Mix 2, 6-inch Full HD plus, 6GB of RAM, 64GB of onboard storage, but this time just a single front camera, just a rear fingerprint scanner, glass body, micro USB, and you do have a 3.5mm headphone jack, but it's running on the Android 7.0 version. This Oukitel Mix 2 is clearly for me the better build of the two devices. The glass on both sides feels really premium, like really thick. It's definitely double layered, maybe even triple layered. On the right side you have the power and volume buttons, and on the left side you have the SIM tray, and on the top of course you have the 3.5mm headphone jack, because both devices are around 8.5mm thick, and there really wasn't an excuse for the Doogee Mix to not include the headphone jack, or perhaps it's just to make it look cool. And comparing both devices, you can definitely tell by the weight that the Mix 2's glass panel has definitely 2 layers at least, because it's a bit heavier than the Doogee Mix 2. But the difference is just 20 grams, which is absolutely nothing. When it comes to bezels, the Oukitel Mix 2 has a smaller top bezel, while the Doogee Mix 2 has a smaller bottom facing bezel. So both devices are really very close to that bezel-less feel, but none are truly bezel-less. Instead, compared side by side, both around 8.5, 8.6mm thick, so not too thick, not too thin. And the glass on the Mix 2, you can definitely see by how it reflects light that it's much more premium, and it's definitely dual or triple layered glass instead of just the single layer on the Doogee Mix 2. Another huge difference is that the Doogee Mix 2 has the front cameras on the top, while the Oukitel Mix 2 has this just a single front camera and it's on the bottom right. The Oukitel Mix 2 for me is definitely, as I said, the much better built device. You can tell by the way it reflects light, and the fingerprint scanner is also made of glass, unlike plastic from the Doogee Mix 2, and it also unlocks very fast. This is perhaps the best build quality and the most premium looking phone I've ever held, around $200, the Oukitel Mix 2 bar none. And as you can see, you have an app drawer, and I recently got an update to the January 2018 security patch, so this is very nice. Oukitel may be keen on updating this phone more often, at least with the security patches. One thing I can't deny about the Doogee Mix 2, the color and the side metal frames which reflect light and make it even look like it's purple and violet at times from the side, just very good looking. And it is lighter, but the build quality on the front and the back definitely feels cheaper compared to the Mix 2. But the Face ID, facial recognition, I was expecting it to be horrible, and was actually pretty surprised how accurate it was. Now don't expect it to be as good as the iPhone or the OnePlus 5T, but for a budget device it was certainly better than I expected, and it unlocked almost every time, even in lower light situations. And that's why Doogee's Mix 2 is rocking the 7.1 Nougat version, but just with the November security patch. And the 7.1 Nougat has this new app drawer style, which you swipe from the bottom, and it also has the features from the icons like something like force touch, when you just hold tightly and press tightly on the icon, and some will have additional features pop out. That may be cool, but this software Doogee is rocking certainly has a few bugs, as when the battery goes below 15% and you don't use the power saving modes, the phone will just freeze randomly and all the touch will stop responding, and also keep getting the Gmail app has stopped message. I've already had 4 updates on the Mix 2, and every time there's an update something gets broken and something gets fixed, so there's definitely some work to be done in the software. And as you can see, the specs on both devices side by side are virtually identical, with the exception of the Mix 2 having a second front camera, which is also 8 megapixels for that Face ID recognition. When it comes to benchmarks, both phones are actually pretty similar, but I was surprised that the Oukitel Mix 2 packed faster storage, which for me was definitely more important. Here is the 227 score as well. When it comes to battery life, both phones actually again perform pretty much the same, although the Oukitel Mix 2 for me gives around 10% better battery life and has a tiny bit better thermals, maybe because of the dual layered glass which absorbs heat a little bit better. So you know that you get both phones are 6 inches, but they're definitely good for battery life. And when it comes to charging, the Oukitel Mix 2 packs fast charging, which charges the phone very fast, and you get around 70% up in around 45 minutes, while the Doogee Mix 2, I don't think it even has fast charging, because for 40 minutes I was able to just get around 30% on it. When it comes to GPS and connectivity, the Doogee Mix 2 was a bit faster to take the lock in the GPS on. It could be the little bit better GPS device, but when it comes to call quality and connectivity, it failed, because the Oukitel Mix 2's call quality is much better. The Doogee Mix 2 was for me even a bit subpar. And next we have the display comparison. Both displays are actually pretty decent when considering this is a budget phone. They're both Full HD Plus, which is a huge resolution, 6 inches, the new 18:9 or Infinity Display, Full View Display Factor as you call it. The more and more I look at both displays, the more I see that the Oukitel Mix 2 display is much better quality. The blacks are deeper, the color gamut coverage is definitely wider than the Doogee Mix 2. That's not saying the Doogee Mix 2 display is bad, but I can definitely tell that the Oukitel Mix 2 display is better, and I've never even doubted it. And when you compare it with the Doogee Mix 2 side by side, it's even more apparent. Wider color gamut coverage, deeper blacks, and the images just look a bit sharper to me. But as I said, the difference is not huge, and for me the Mix 2 display is also a tad brighter when it comes to sunlight visibility. And next I'll be doing a test on the sound quality from both devices, and I'll tell you because you see the sound quality test, that the Oukitel Mix 2 definitely wins again. And now we've come to RAM management and actual daily usage on both devices. Since the Android Nougat is very well optimized and Doogee's Mix 2 is rocking the Android 7.1.1, both phones have the same Helio P25, which is clocked at the same speed, and both have 6 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of onboard storage. But the Oukitel Mix 2 has a slightly higher frequency RAM, which showed in the test results, and slightly faster storage. But how does this translate opening, closing apps, multitasking? Well, nothing really. I've never opened like a lot of apps, as you see here, just even if there is a difference between both devices, it's so small that it's just negligible. I mean, both devices are solid daily drivers and perform for me adequately fast, as fast as say a year and a half, 2 years ago, very expensive flagship phones like the Samsung S6 for instance, and you won't have any issues with your daily performance and multitasking. When it comes to opening more apps in the background without reloading, I think it's perhaps due to the Android 711 Nougat. The Doogee Mix 2 is slightly superior. Maybe if you open 15-16 apps on both devices, after some part Oukitel Mix 2 will start reloading some, and Doogee Mix 2 will get like an app or two more and then start reloading them. So again, small difference, but I just wanted to let you know that there is some, as I said, perhaps due to the newer Android operating system, Doogee Mix 2's RAM management is slightly better. When it comes to gaming, same thing. Both devices run games pretty much the same, with the slight difference that the Oukitel Mix 2 has slightly lower temperatures, like degrees or two less, and it doesn't feel as hot because, as I said, the glass is dual triple layered. Loading games, playing games, these are both pretty capable gaming devices you can buy, and they're good for long hours of gaming because the battery life is really solid on both. But do know that they are not flagship grade chips, and as most games run on the Play Store, even the heavy ones will, but they're not like sure gaming devices for years to come. And when it comes to cameras, there's the Samsung sensor in the Oukitel Mix 2 versus the OmniVision sensor in the Doogee Mix 2. Both devices have very fast autofocus, they can adjust exposure on the fly. The megapixels really don't count here, both are 16 megapixel, even though the Oukitel is advertised as 21, which is software interpolated. The Oukitel Mix 2 can, however, record 4K video, while the Doogee Mix 2 can only record Full HD. But again, this is something because both cameras don't have optical image stabilization. This is really not that big of a deal, and both phones actually have focus content issues when you shoot video. But onto the picture quality. The front camera, this is first of all two shots taken with the Doogee Mix 2. Doogee Mix 2 front camera is better, no doubt about it. Sharper images and even better in low light as well. When it comes to the main camera, however, the things are very tight. I did lots of shots with both phones, but this is the one that really shows. This is the Doogee Mix 2 and this is zoomed 2 times. You can see the quality is not something great, but check the Oukitel Mix 2. Here the image is definitely less sharp and contains less detail than the Oukitel Mix 2, and for me the Doogee Mix 2's main camera's OmniVision sensor is better than the one in the Samsung, but the difference is very small, and both phones actually do not favor low light that much. For me, there's only one winner, the Oukitel Mix 2. Better display, better audio quality, latest security patch, better build quality, which for me is very important, fast charging, which I can't live without, and much more stable software with the latest security patch embedded. And it's around $35 cheaper than the Doogee Mix 2 as well. But if you must have that Face ID, slightly better cameras and lighter phone, Doogee Mix 2, you can buy it, of course. You can buy both phones in the link in the description below. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to watch more honest in-depth reviews from tech from China.